Right, Siddhant, stay with us. I'm also being joined by Air Marshal Anil Khosla, former the Vice Chief of the Air Staff, Indian Air Force, who also handled Doklam and Balakot operations, joining us here on the broadcast. Welcome to WION, Air Marshal Khosla. First up, just few seconds ago, Prime Minister Modi gave out a strong statement that Operation Sindoor is India's ongoing policy against terrorism and that terror and talks cannot happen together. Your views?
Yeah, very right. We have been attacked repeatedly by, terrorists supported by Pakistan and trained in there and in their training camps, supported by their military, supported by their government. And every time this terror happens, the response is there. But then, after a few days again, it occurs. So this time it is red line has been crossed by them with the heinous act which they did in Pahalgam, and a very clear-cut red line has been drawn by the Prime Minister after this Sindoor. And what we heard, what you covered also is very right, that this is a new normal, zero tolerance, and we'll respond the way we want. And biggest thing is not only the terror, the terrorists, the infrastructure, also their supporters will be included in this. That is what also he mentioned. When he said supporters, to my mind, it is the army, the Pakistan army, the military who's supporting this terrorists, even the government who's allowing them to operate from there, this thing. I think they're also included in this. And a very strong message that we will not talk till the time you show some positive results against the terrorism on your soil.
Air Marshal Khosla also talked to us about how Operation Sindoor demonstrated India's modern warfare capabilities, which of course Prime Minister Modi also highlighted, because India for the first time hit at the heart of Pakistan.
Yeah, so if you notice of Sindoor, whatever reports have come in the last 5-6 days, it is true. I mean, the Indian military has really capability building has really progressed well, and especially after Balakot and the last 1 decade, the impetus given by the government is showing results. And every type of capability has been showcased here, as well as increased and enhanced, in terms of precision, in terms of standoff, in terms of air defense, both offensive and defensive capabilities. And lesson learned from other wars and skirmishes in the world also is that self-reliance is the most important. That is why if you see quite a few of the indigenous weapons and systems have been used and which have proved their mettle. I think that is a good sign for India and a good progress for India.
Air Marshal Khosla, just to follow up on that, of course, in the past few days from the slew of briefings that we have been hearing, the Indian missiles targeted Pakistan's drone attacks, including the China's PL-15 missiles and the Yuhar missiles of Turkey. So India's defense system, indigenous defense systems thwarted all these attacks. Talk to us more on that, and also how Operation Sindoor perhaps showcased this spectacular coordination between the Indian Army, Navy and the Air Force.
Yeah, of course. So one aspect is that all the three services have worked together very well, and which has been demonstrated, and they've really planned and executed in a very, very integrated way. That is one thing which stands out. And secondly, the point which you, the aspect which you brought out, the Chinese and equipment. Pakistan has got almost 80% of the Chinese equipment, weapons, platforms, and systems. Earlier, it was a Western system, mainly from US, but now it's all Chinese equipment, and the whole world is watching, because Chinese, the way they operate with the secrecy, they claim a lot of capabilities as far as these weapons and system platforms are concerned, but actual is now being exposed. So the whole world will be watching, and of course, the Indian military will analyze the whole situation in a big way, and a lot of lessons will be drawn out and maybe shared with all the friendly countries. So that is a follow-up action of this as far as the military action is concerned.
Right, Air Marshal Khosla, please stay with us. We'll just listen in to Prime Minister Modi's big message to the world that Operation Sindoor is India's ongoing policy against terrorism. Take a listen.
टेरर और टॉक एक साथ नहीं हो सकते। टेरर और ट्रेड एक साथ नहीं चल सकते और पानी और खून भी एक साथ नहीं बह सकता। कोई भी न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल भारत नहीं सहेगा। न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल की आड़ में पनप रहे आतंकी ठिकानों पर भारत सटीक और निर्णायक प्रहार करेगा।
Right, Marshal Khosla is here with us on the show. Apart from that very big message that Prime Minister Modi gave that terror and talk cannot go together, trade and terror cannot go hand in hand, and a big message to the world as well on that India will only talk to Pakistan on two issues, Pakistan occupied Kashmir and on the issue of terrorism. I want to seek your inputs on how Prime Minister Modi also called on Pakistan's nuclear bogey. Do you think that these precision strikes that India carried out on the terror hubs of Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Kashmir, will that call off the nuclear bogey of Pakistan?
Yeah, so what happens is Pakistan is, if you notice, every time there is the situation heats up between the two countries, they start doing irresponsible saber rattling as far as nuclear aspect is concerned. Whereas India's approach has been very mature, and we also have the capability, but we don't go brandishing our sword and displaying it to the world and start saber rattling. But the world knows that we have the resolve and we have the wherewithal maybe to counter that. So that is very, very immature on part of Pakistan. There's another aspect to it which comes out this time. Every time Pakistan is against the corner, for India, he starts saber rattling, saying that, yeah, I got these weapons and I'm going to use it if required. And to the world, he starts saying that, India is the aggressor, and if Pakistan gets, hammered too much, maybe these weapons may go into non-state actors. So these are the two aspects related to it. Both are which very, these bluffs have been called off quite a few times. And this time, Prime Minister has made it very, very sure that, we'll not fall to this prey to this saber rattling which Pakistan does.
Marshal Khosla, and India clearly said that Pakistan needs to eradicate terror for peace. But stay with us. I also have my colleague Siddhant Sibal on. All right, there's some technical issue with Siddhant here. Talk to us more on how India has clearly laid out red lines that Pakistan's need to eradicate terrorism for peace moving forward. All right, there seems to be some technical glitch at this point of time. That was Prime Minister Modi's big message. Yes, we have Air Marshal Khosla back here with us. Sir, I was just asking you, talk to us more on how the big statement that has come out by the Prime Minister with, he's clearly saying that that Pakistan needs to eradicate terrorism for any kind of peace moving forward.
Yeah, he's very rightly said, needs to eradicate because you're playing with fire. And, Pakistan is the terror hub of the world. And you see Osama bin Laden was, residing in Pakistan. That's what when the USA did the action. I mean, the N number of cases. And the ministers of Pakistan itself are saying on TV and various shows that they're saying, like, in the parliament, they're, doing chest thumping, saying that Pulwama was a tactical success and a brilliant strategy. I mean, I don't understand the mindset. And world is replete with examples that if you, the term is if you keep a snake as a pet, be ready to be bitten sometime or the other. And as I said, world is replete with examples where you have supported these non-state actors and they have gone back against you. So it's not only Prime Minister rightly pointed them out that you're causing harm to the world, as well as in the long run you're causing harm to yourself. So beware, and you need to undo this terror ecosystem which is thriving in your country.